Out of all the many fruits that have sprouted thanks to the internet, not a single one has revolutionized our culture more than social media. It's amazing, isn't it? The big selling point of social media is undoubtedly the connections created online. If a social controversy would have happened in the United States a century ago, the news wouldn't have reached Guatemala until much later. Definitely not the day of. It almost feels as if the world is more linked than ever before because of these communication platforms. It's the same reason why pop culture has become universal so quickly. It has everything to do with connection. That's what social media is. Connection. Connection to your family, connection to your friends, connection to the world. That being said, nothing has divided our modern Western culture more than the nefarious, most of the time inescapable bubbles that social media traps all of its users in. An invisible prison, somehow hiding in plain sight. A place where ideologues run rampant, manipulating audiences into thinking a certain way. How do they manage? They take advantage of biological weaknesses of the human mind through the intentionally duplicitous business that is social media, wrapping us inside layers upon layers of bubbles that we aren't even aware of. They limit our sphere of vision and cause social division in the process. Let's go layer by layer, shall we? Layer number one, time is money. If we want to figure out how people take advantage of social media, we need to first and foremost break down the system they operate in. Social media, at its core, is a business like any other. The way companies like Instagram, YouTube, and most infamously TikTok make money is by selling the attention of the users. Our time is their money. Since their source of revenue is almost entirely from ads, in order for other companies to want to buy ad spots on these platforms, the platforms need to ask themselves, how can I get people to download my app? And perhaps more importantly, how can I get people to stay on my app? The ingenious answer is the development of the algorithm. According to the Digital Market Institute, the broad functionality of this algorithm is basically to analyze all of its users' statistics. It sees things like what videos or posts you spend more time on, which ones you scroll past. It then compiles all this data and starts suggesting more and more posts that it already knows you'll like, and pushes away everything it knows you won't like. Think of it this way. Imagine we have two users of the app TikTok, Eddie and Jane. Eddie really likes lifestyle bloggers, and Jane really likes chess. They're both into TV dramas and poker. Since the algorithm sees these two users with similar tastes, it might think, hey, if Eddie likes TV dramas and poker just like Jane, he might also like chess. And so chess videos start appearing on Eddie's algorithm. And since neither of them particularly enjoy baking, chances are baking videos are never going to appear on either of their algorithms. It's quite innovative. When done at a mass scale, people can find they're into things they wouldn't have even considered. But it becomes an issue when we start to deal with other matters. Since the algorithm actively shows you the things you'll like and pushes away everything it knows you won't like, when applied to politics, disaster emerges. If you have two users at opposite ends of the political spectrum, they'll enjoy watching posts that reaffirm their beliefs and ideas. So the algorithm will give them more of those posts. And since they probably don't enjoy watching posts that challenge their beliefs as much, the algorithm will push those videos away, thus creating an echo chamber. A virtual bubble where users only get shown the same type of video with the same ideology over and over again. We mostly see posts that reaffirm our beliefs. We rarely see posts that challenge them, all because the algorithm wants us to stay on the app for longer so we can see more ads, so they can sell more ad spots and make more money. Our time is their money. In other words, we are the product. So of course these social media platforms don't care if they create literal ideological bubbles. They care about their money. And our time is their money. That's the first layer that goes into this scheme. Layer number two, my name's Blurryface and I care what you think. Aside from being a line in a really great song, Stressed Out by 21 Pilots, this phrase reflects a hard truth of social psychology. We care about what other people think about us. We always seek a place to belong. Like it or not, it's true. It's one of the things that characterizes us humans as a social species. And it makes sense. In a world where everyone fends for themselves, the emergence of groups would dominate the individual, making the need to belong quite an effective survival strategy. But how does this apply to social media? Look no further than cognitive balance theory. According to McGill University in Canada, cognitive balance is a theory that wishes to find out how people deal with inconsistencies in their interpersonal influences. Let's go back to Eddie and Jane for a second. If Eddie, a man who doesn't really care for chess, falls in love with Jane, a woman who loves chess, according to cognitive balance theory, Eddie, at the very least, will begin to appreciate chess a lot more. If he really hated chess with an adamant passion, then he'd have a change of heart, either by improving his opinion of chess or damaging his opinion of Jane. This is why it's so much easier to talk to someone and become friends if both parties have similar interests and beliefs. No interpersonal inconsistencies are created. However, that's rarely the case. Everyone you know, even your closest friends, must have differing beliefs or opinions somehow. But that's not the case in social media. In social media, you don't get nuance. At least not often. We've established that with the echo chambers. It's a very polarizing system. So you get these posts that spew out the same type of video with the same ideology over and over again. And as a social species, looking for the opinion of the crowd, what do? We check the like count, the top comments. How many followers does this person have again? We survey this information to try to see if the general public is thinking the same thing as this polarizing video. The thing is, the likes, the comments, everyone watching the video is most likely stuck in the same echo chamber we are. So everyone probably already agrees with the post. And if you as an individual agree with the post, that's fine. As I said, everyone has their own beliefs and ideas. But what social media does is it convinces you that everyone is thinking the same thing. Not to mention the fact that we only ever see the likes. Have you ever noticed that? TikTok and Instagram especially only have a like count, and YouTube recently disabled their dislike count. So it's quite literally impossible to see the people who disagreed with the ideological video you just watched. And if someone who did disagree plucks up the courage to type out a comment, since that disagreeing view is clearly not as popular within this echo chamber, that comment won't get that many likes, and so people won't see it. It's crazy. So you end up with a user stuck inside an echo chamber hearing controversial and polarizing ideologues rant about issues. And from their perspective, everyone agrees with them. And since we don't want interpersonal inconsistencies according to cognitive balance theory, we have two options. Either reject our whole algorithm that's already compiled of posts we like and agree with, or the more likely option, we start thinking, hey, I agree with these people on most things, I'll especially hear them out on this. And that turns into, hey, I agree with these people on most things, they're probably right about this. Bear in mind that this decision is a slow burn. You're seeing dozens of these controversial viral videos in tandem with the ones you agree with. It whittles you down bit by bit until we stop questioning the validity of the statements, all because we care about what other people think. We care about the like count, we care about the followers, we care about the comments. My name's Blurryface and I care what you think. Embrace the current or be swept away. That's the second layer that goes into this scheme. Layer number 3. Worthy content, unworthy adversaries. At this point, we've looked at the actual intricacies of the system of social media and the creation of echo chambers, and how our need to belong plays a part in dangerous groupthink through cognitive balance theory. But now let's look at the third key player that's been here all along, the ideologue. To understand the ideologue, we must first get inside their mind. Why are they doing this in the first place? While different people are going to have different intentions like fame, attention, money, or approval, there's one underlying motive that each one of them has to have. They have to want to share their ideas. And that's a perfectly rational end. But let's question ourselves. How does one reach that end? They could make posts of themselves talking and sharing the ideas and beliefs and posting it on the internet. However, not many people are going to see it if they do. If they want to make something that people actually see, they have to make something that satisfies the algorithm we talked about earlier. So let's go back to Eddie and Jane one last time. Let's say Eddie and Jane want to share their opinions on important political issues. They both start out by posting plain videos of themselves talking. Not many people see them, but this is just the beginning. However, Eddie really wants more people to see his posts, and he makes a revelation. Since the algorithm actively wants people to stay on the app for longer periods of time, if he makes content that achieves that end, the algorithm will reward him with views, likes, and things of the sort. So how does Eddie get people to stay, not only on his little corner of social media, but on the whole platform in general? He has to be charismatic, he has to appeal to a wide range of people, but most importantly, he has to say things that make him stand out. That last one is critical. It's the reason why social media is filled to the brim with controversies. Controversies get people talking, and that discussion is highly profitable. This way, people are spending more time on the algorithm. That's one strategy to gain an audience, but there's another one to keep it, and that's undermining the enemy. If you are an ideologue, you might not outright want your audience to blindly follow you, but you sure do benefit from it. And one of the ways to stay within their periphery is to make everything else look worse. It's a common tactic used by manipulators, and it manifests itself in social media in the following ways. Once you're already inside an echo chamber and have adhered to some group mentality, you'll find that a substantial portion of the posts in your algorithm ridicule the other side of politics. They're made to look foolish. Now, of course, if someone says something contradictory or something you deem to be actually foolish, it's no one's fault but theirs, and you're all your right to judge them however you like. However, the thing you need to know is that that's the side you get shown. In the unflinching division of the echo chamber, the brief, vague glimpses you get of the other side are purposefully chosen to look outrageous and idiotic. So you associate the other side with being outrageous and idiotic. You can't even argue with them, they say. And all the while this is happening, the endless stream of things you hear from your side are all glorified. You get shown the moments your side won, the mic drop moments with the cool music in the back and the visual effects. Look at how smart we are. But don't even try to argue with them. They're unworthy adversaries. It's all intentional. It's all a ploy. That's the third and final layer that goes into this scheme. So let's review. We have layer number 1, time is money, how social media is intricately built to divide people through the use of echo chambers, through the use of the algorithm and the creation of echo chambers. We have layer number 2, my name's Blurryface and I care what you think, how our need to belong plays a part in dangerous groupthink through cognitive balance theory. And finally, layer number 3, worthy content, unworthy adversaries, how ideologues are encouraged and incentivized by the system to purposely make controversial content while also ridiculing the other side of politics. It's a lot, isn't it? Because the 3 layers don't just stand by themselves. They're all intertwined and make each other stronger. The echo chambers wouldn't be as powerful if we didn't care so much about what other people think. And the ideologues tap into that weakness, making us feel like we're on the smart side and that everyone else is on the dumb side. You don't want to be part of the dumb side, do you? And that's a polarization that is easy to forge thanks to the echo chambers in the first place. It's all connected. That's the real connection of social media, the connection that makes us turn on each other, the connection that divides our culture. So what now? Simply being aware of this will help a bit, but we have to do more than that. We have to actively challenge our beliefs autonomously. We have to stop taking them for granted. We have to start listening to the other side, not just hearing, listening to the other side, considering the ideas, thinking them through. We have to stop thinking of ourselves as members of a group. We have to start thinking of ourselves as individuals who just happen to agree with a specific idea. And most importantly of all, we have to stop believing everything we see on social media, especially if the matter in question is something we're inclined to agree with. Don't accept it immediately. Think about it deeply and truly. Do more research and be careful. Because everyone in the system, every single social media executive, every single corrupt politician, and every single greedy influencer banks on our ignorance. Let's not let them get away with it. Only then will we be able to bridge the gap and mend the wound that has been created on social media, and hopefully become a society united by different beliefs.